It's your time to renew, rebuild, and restore with Rebirth Podcast. Let's go!
It's what you've been waiting for. The Rebirth with your host, Shay Marriott.
Let's go.
And Eli Isabel.
Welcome to the Rebirth. My name is Shay Marriott.
And it's your boy Eli Isabel, a.k.a. The South. Got something to say. Happy Monday, family. Shay, what's going on, sis?
What's good? How you doing?
Oh, man, if I be doing any better, I'd be in heaven.
Oh, hey.
I'm just here. How are you?
I'm good. I cannot complain. I'm good. I'm blessed and highly favored.
Well, listen, we about to turn into the Rebirth Pentecostal Baptist Church up in here.
Church of God.
What's going on? Please send your offering to what's the cash app for Rebirth?
Okay. Well,
Yeah, send it to that, We'll take a little love offering. How y'all doing out there, family, man? Happy Monday. Thank you for joining us, man. 7 o'clock is the right time, and here go your folks, man. What's going on?
Yes, we appreciate you guys tuning in every Monday night. Wherever you are listening to us, we are on all social media outlets and all podcast platforms. So thank you for downloading our shows. I see you. I think right now we are doing great with downloads. So I'm very excited about that. So we really appreciate the support, and we got a great show.
Yes, we do.
For you guys. I mean, we have a great show. But before we get into that, my question, have you ever mispronounced the word before?
Do tell, I have.
Okay.
So I'm in a conversation with a young lady many years ago, and she's a lawyer, so I'm trying to appear intelligent.
He's trying to impress.
Trying to impress. So I try to hit her with this. So we're having a conversation about people and how people be, fronting and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I said to her, yeah, man, I can't stand people who are always trying to put on a facade. She said, facade? I said, no, you're wrong. Yo.
Wow.
Right at that moment, I knew it was wrong.
You just wanted to disappear.
Yeah, I got it. You think I'm short now? I was like 6 inches tall after she corrected me.
Oh, wow. That's
hilarious.
Like,
wow. But she still liked me after that. So
that's a big one, man. Facade.
Facade.
Wow. How long ago was this?
I don't know, in my early 20s.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I was going to say, you would have said last week.
Hell no. Things I said just a couple of years outside of leaving Arkansas, you can't hold it against me.
Okay.
It's like that didn't really happen.
You're right.
That didn't really happen.
You're right. Okay.
But it happened.
Okay. So, speaking of pronunciation.
Pronunciations?
Yes.
Here we go. Off the top. But go ahead.
Arkansas or Arkansas? Because this is where he's from, so
yes.
Arkansas or Arkansas?
The proper pronunciation is Arkansas.
Okay.
Nobody says that. Mm-hmm. Nobody says that. I'm from Turrell, but the proper pronunciation is Terrell.
Terrell. Okay.
Nobody says that. Huh. So yeah, I think it's just lazy dialect. People don't. because if everybody around you understands you, then what is your motivation to try to speak differently? So yeah, you ought to listen. You ought to be on speakerphone when I'm talking to my siblings back home.
Oh, all right.
You will be like,
what are they saying?
Hell, I was with one of my coworkers one time, and we was in a truck, and my brother called me. It's my guy, James. I love you. My brother called me, right? And so it came on in the car. So me and him having a whole conversation. We hung up. She was like, what the hell was he saying? And she was like, and you understood everything.
Right.
And I said, well, what did you hear? She says, I heard wah, 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 wah. I said, you're not going to talk about my brother like that. But she was like, you understood every word and you responded accordingly.
Right.
I was like, well, I said, that was not too long ago. I sounded like that.
And so, what I find, I think that it's really amazing. Like, I have a friend, he's from North Carolina, right? So he has that Southern twang with him, right? So when he's here, when he's in Delaware, he sounds normal. I mean, you could tell he's from the South.
Right.
But if he was to go home to North Carolina and call me, it's like, I'm like, what happened? Like, talking completely different, right? And I'm like, well, can you talk to me like you was in Delaware? Like, what changes?
Give me the Delaware. You know what? I can speak to that because when I go home and I come back, people can say, "Oh, you've been to Arkansas, huh?" Because when I'm talking, I don't know. You fall right back into. Because I don't feel like I have to try and speak clear down there. Because what I hear them, I understand them. I speak what they speak, so my language becomes very lazy.
Yeah.
And half words, we cut off half the word, we run 10 words together.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know, it's just the I don't want to say culture, but I guess for lack of a better phrase.
I love it. I mean, it's, I see the difference. I see the shift. So
yeah, it happens.
The reason why I was asking
and we're
about
loud.
the words, because I was recently in a training, and I've heard people mispronounce this word often, but I just never heard someone that was, had a doctoral degree that mispronounced this word. So we were in a training, and she said, I specifically wanted you guys to read, and I could not hear anything else that came after that.
The
and I'm
ocean.
like, did she just say Pacifically? And I just kept saying that in my head, and I totally missed the last part of what she was saying. So yeah, but
I think that's common.
Word.
That word is common, though.
It is, and you can tell when people struggle with it because they could be talking, then they be like, specifically, they'll slow it down, like, make sure you sound that S.
Well, just understand this. C students become president of the United States also. So just because you have a doctorate, don't make you just gutted it out. You completed them papers. You did your little oral presentations and you made it. You might have made it by the skin of your teeth, but you still got a PhD.
Right. I always mispronounce words. I ain't even
What's the word you commonly mispronounce?
Well, you know what? I'm not gonna say. So I say words funny, and I think I have a client, and she used to always love. Her appointments were always on this certain day of the week, which I haven't said yet. And she, at the end of our session, she'll say, "When's my appointment again?" And I say, "It's Tuesdays at 6 or something."
Okay.
It's either Tuesday or Wednesday that I say Wednesdays. Something I say awkward to her, but she loves to hear me say it. For me, I don't know. I don't hear what I'm saying, but it sounds different for her. So I was like, well, that's how I say it. I don't know. I'm from Jersey.
What's something you guys say in Violent that, if a person says that, they from Violent? Oh, God. Is that to get the girl's attention?
That was just something that, they used to do.
It's a Violent thing.
That's a street call.
Wow. In my hometown,
I don't know what that means, but
there's this family full of hilarious people. Their last name is Deans. It's about 100 of them, right? And they come up with the craziest words, and it becomes part of the lexicon. So they term the phrase called zilligan.
Okay.
If you're a zilligan, you are an idiot. He's a zilligan ass.
Oh, wow.
You're doing something, you stupid, and everybody in the whole town, so if somebody calls you a zilligan, they know you from Turl. And you know that person's from Turl because only Turl people use the word zilligan.
Wow.
Or they'll say, or it was good to say, you a moron.
Moron.
Yo, moron ass dude. You're like, yo. But they so damn funny, man.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you this and then we can move on. They got I can talk about this because we grown. Oh, well. One of the brothers' name was, they all have funny nicknames. One of them name was Cool Breeze. So we should be like, yo, why they call Cool Breeze Cool Breeze? They was like, well, if you down there on that end of the street and a cool breeze come through, you can smell him. You be musty. You can smell him at the end of the street.
That's the word. That's
musty.
the word that I
cool breeze.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they one name Lil Bruh, Cool Breeze, Eat 'em All. Just the worst names ever, and they look like they names.
Lord have mercy.
I'm about to fight all of them when I go back to Arkansas.
Exactly.
Shout out to the Deans, baby.
Yes. And the South got something to say tonight. Okay, you saying a lot.
I know that. I'm gonna have to be the East Coast got something to say in a minute.
So we have a great show for you guys tonight. The topic for tonight, and I want you guys to think about this. Okay, have you ever held a grudge? Now, be honest. think about it. Have you ever held a grudge? And if so, how long have you held on to that grudge? All right? Think about that. But in the meantime, the South got something to say.
All right, family. So listen, tonight, man, really quick, I want to get into ignorance. I want to get into how we're raising these children today, and just the things that I think some of us could be doing better. I'm not going to say right or wrong, but some of us could be doing better. I see it every day, and it starts with, I'll give you an example. I'm at a light about a week ago, and a car is in front of me, and we're in the city, and person lets down the driver's side window, throws out a whole container that they were just eating food out of. French fries in it, just sitting there. I'm sitting there like, why? Like, why would you just throw a container out of the window while you're sitting at the light? I see people every day, and I'm going to specifically address our community. I see people every day that handle every situation with either cursing somebody out or about to fight. Like, can we handle any situation without it going too far? Why are we not able to have a conversation if we disagree? Every situation is being met with some kind of force, some kind of threat, and potential violence. I see it every day. The children I work with at my day job, little people, 3 to 5. Every situation is handled with hitting, scratching, and biting. We're not teaching our kids to problem solve. And I understand that because their parents weren't taught to problem solve. And so they don't have that to pass down to their kid. Their grandmom or grandfather, they fought every time that there was an issue. No one knows how to problem solve an issue without it coming to violence or someone being hurt. People stop in the middle of the street, put their flashers on. There's a parking spot you can pull in.
Right.
You're just going to say, F it, I'm going to park right here. Like, why? Why not just park? Why are you in the street holding up traffic? And you blow your horn at them, you may have to fight. Like, yo, let me by. Just lack of concern just lack of common courtesy for others. Like, it's just really a selfish time. And because of that, it's a dangerous time.
For sure.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, like, Shay, you do what I do. Like, what can we do to overcome some of this ignorance that we see all day, every day?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely lack of problem-solving skills, social skills, communication skills. But there's certain things I will give you a pass on, but there's certain things I'm just not going to give you a pass on. And when it comes down to when I heard you say, I get it because their parents may not have done it, their grandparents may not have done it that way. I'm not going to give you a pass on that because just because your parents didn't have problem-solving skills or good communication skills does not mean you can't learn to acquire them. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things that we can say, you know what? If they knew better, they would have did better. Absolutely. You know you're not communicating right. You know you're being a straight jerk, right? Go do something about that. Go get some therapy. Go learn how to have a conversation without it have to be so, aggressive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think those type of things, I'm not going to give a pass and say our parents, our grandparents, they didn't know, so this is why. People just are being jerks out here.
Yeah.
Period.
I can give you another example of, I'm a big on holding doors for people if I'm going into Wawa, if I'm going to whatever. And people would just walk in, don't say thank you. Like, it's just the level of entitlement is like crazy.
Yeah.
Walk right. I'm holding, you walk right by me and keep it moving.
Right.
Like,
right.
What is that?
Yep.
No one taught you to say thank you.
Exactly. And you know what? Continue to do that. Don't stop being who you are, because that is, that's part of who you are, right? That you're just a gentleman. Don't let that change your behavior just because they don't say thank you or they're ignorant and all of that, right? You continue to do that, because there's women like myself, when that happens, I'm like, oh, thank you so much. That was so kind of you, or that was so sweet of you, right? Because everybody don't do that, right? But sometimes we allow people's reaction to us being nice or doing something nice for them change who we are.
Right. I'm just, and I'm gonna end on this. I'm afraid that I see so many ignorant people throughout the course of my day, and I'm afraid that these ignorant people, they're gonna have little ignorant babies. Them babies are gonna have another group of ignorant individuals, and in a minute, we're gonna be outnumbered. The decent people that with just a simple common courtesy of walking into a room saying hello. You haven't been taught that. Like I was talking to a coworker of mine. This is a grown woman. She said, "Well, I walk in, ain't nobody say hi to me." Like, it costs you nothing to say hello. You are entering a room with 2 or 3 people in there, and you just go sit down and get on your phone.
Yeah.
Like, just common courtesy. So I'm afraid that in another 25 years, there's going to be more ignorant people on earth than it's going to be people that have some sense. So I think we're slowly being outnumbered. So we have to do something. Something has to be done. We have to start to parent our children. I heard this man say, if you raise your children, you can spoil your grandchildren. If you spoil your children, you have to raise your grandchildren. Think about that.
Say that again.
If you raise your children, you can spoil your grandchildren. If you spoil your children, you will have to raise your grandchildren.
That's good.
Yeah, and I think this is where we are.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is there hope? I hope so. I hope there's hope.
We have to at least believe that it is, right? In order to, continue to move forward. We definitely got to believe that it is hope.
Yeah.
And that people will change. And I think that starts with holding people accountable.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Holding people accountable. I'm not even gonna lie. There was a time. Now I don't know if I would do this now because, like you said, people be packing. They got guns and all of that.
Yeah.
But if I'm holding the door for someone, I don't like you just walk in and you don't say thank you or anything like that. So there has been a time where I've said, "You're welcome," or "Thank you" would have been nice.
The violin come out a little bit.
Thank you would have been. I don't say it mean, but I'm like, and they turn around. "Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you. I wasn't even paying attention." Right? Because sometimes it is people are just not paying attention. Right? Sometimes, but not all the time. Most of the time is exactly what you said.
Yeah.
But sometimes people are just so kind of, moving and not paying attention of their surroundings that
I was recently at a basketball game, and this little kid, I had on a Cowboys hat, right? This little kid, this is before the playoffs started. This just happened like 2 weeks ago. So this little kid is saying to me, "Oh my God, you like the Cowboys? Get out of here, get out of here." He's like 5 or 6. So I say to his dad, I said, you raising him already to hate the boys? Or he was like, "I don't even really like the Eagles. That's just his thing." Now he's talking like this as a 25-year-old kid instead of a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to the dad, and the little kid is going on and on. "Get out of here. Daddy needs to get out of here." I said, "Hey, who you talking?" I said, "Stop. That's enough. Who you talking to?"
Oh.
And he stopped. Like, what the hell you doing?
Oh my gosh.
My kid know I yell at another kid. My kid had a friend who was trying to call me.
Did he react?
He ain't say nothing.
Okay.
I wish he would have. You need to check him. Why I gotta stop him?
Exactly.
Okay, you got your little thing. "Oh, he likes the Cowboys. Get out of here." One time is good.
Right.
Now he kept going on and on, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Wow.
So
okay.
she has a friend. I don't know. I'm gonna say associate. My daughter, associate. She's trying to call me Ed. I'm like, and she did it a few times, and I'm just like, I said, "Tell your friend I want to talk to her." And so she told her friend that I wanted to talk to her, and her friend was all shook. "Oh, is your dad? When's he want to talk about this, and that?" And she was shook. So she came over to me. This was at a football game. I said, "Listen, you and I are not peers. I'm not your friend. You have to call me Mr. Ed or Mr. Isabel, whatever works for you. But you cannot call me Ed."
That's right.
She was like, oh, I'm sorry. She was like, but she thought it was going to be worse than that. No, for me, that's an issue.
Yeah, for
You're
sure.
not, I'm 50 plus years old.
Yeah.
You don't get to call me by my first name. You're not my friend. I said, "What does my child call your father?" She said, "Oh, Mr. King." I said, "Exactly." Hell make you think you're going to call me by my first name, and that's it.
Good. That's good. That's good. I'm glad. And that's how we start to change, is holding people accountable. And it doesn't have to be in a negative way, but simply sitting down, have a conversation, and explain what's right, what's wrong, whatever the case may be.
And now she's my little BFF when I see her.
Okay, good. I love your topic tonight. Thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Definitely something to think about. Yeah. Okay.
Let's get it, Shay.
Let's get it. So have you ever held a grudge?
I would be putting on a facade if I said I did. I would be fronting. I'm a Scorpio, Shay. So by default, I can be a grudge holder. I do it less as I'm older because I know that takes away from me, and it takes energy away from me. But hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'll not talk to you for a minute.
So is that before Rebirth, Ed, or after Eli, I should say? Is that the after Rebirth or the before Rebirth?
So my last grudge was probably during, and I.
Okay.
Can I tell you the story real quick?
Sure.
So there was this lady that works in our finance department, right? So I found out she was saying some stuff about me. Right. And me and I was joking around with her a little bit. We would always. So when it got back to me, the person who told me was a fairly reliable source. So I knew. And the way she was telling me is in the words that she says. She was saying this stuff to a new person who had no skin in the game with me or her. But, I work with this person more than her. And she was like, I got to tell you what Miss So-and-so was saying about you. So she told me. So I was like, all right, all of the joking around and all of that is over. I'm done. I don't mess with you no more. Now, I didn't tell the person because it was a work thing, but I just stopped dealing with her. So a couple of weeks went by. She was like, Mr. Ed, I noticed you don't really talk to me anymore. This and that. I said, no, I don't, because you've been talking about me behind my back, and I know this. So why would I come up and try to have a conversation with you like it's all good? No, they're lying. I don't know who said that. She turned into a goddamn slave. I don't know who said that. That's a lie. I was like, well, anyway, you can say what you want to say, Kizzy. But you're not finna try to pee on me and tell me it's rain. There's a line. I was like, oh God, you free. Stop talking like that. You free. There's a line. She got so upset. She turned to a slave. She got so upset. She was like, there's a line. I said, stand up straight. Stop bending over. What you bent over for? Like, you been got some lashes? No, but we had that talk. Gosh. We had that talk, and I let her say how much other people were lying on her and this and that, but I knew it wasn't a lie. So it was a few months. I didn't talk to her. Then the person who told me, they was like, yo, Mr. Ed, let her off the hook, because she's really trying to talk to you all the time. And she'll be trying to talk to me. I'd be keep it moving.
Yeah.
Just ignorant. I was being ignorant.
I've seen your grudge game, not towards me, but to someone else.
That thing heavy.
It is very heavy. It is very heavy. So I want you very heavy. I want you guys to think about a time that you held a grudge and what it felt like. The person that you're holding the grudge against, when you are in the room with that person, what does it feel like, right? Think about that. Hold that thought in your mind as we talk about what causes grudges. Where do they come from, right? So being hurt by someone that we love, trust, whether that's, a friend, a coworker that we may have a great deal of respect for, or when they do something to offend us, it brings a sense of anger, sadness, confusion. Excuse me. And we tend to dwell in those hurtful events, right? We dwell on the situation, what's going on, and then grudges start to fill. Resentment starts to happen, hostility starts to happen, right? And now we have this grudge that we carry around.
Have you?
Absolutely. I have pre-birth.
So, you had no beef since you the self started?
No, I don't. So here's my thing. And all jokes aside, if I have an issue or I have a problem with you, I would say most people, especially in my circle, know I'm going to come directly to you. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a conversation about it, right? And if that situation is not fixed, then we need to move forward.
Right.
I'm not going to continue to sit here and hold a grudge with you and pretend we're good, you know? So I'm okay with letting people go because I understand that there's seasons to everything, right? So the seasons change and, you know, maybe you were here for the time that you were supposed to be here and now times is up and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
So whenever you've had a grudge, you never fixed it. You just kind of you had to let them go, or have you ever been able to repair?
No. So I'm a person where I will come to you and try to have a conversation. This one particular incident with someone that I was, I would like to say that we were pretty cool. And I have no idea to this day. I still don't know what caused her to start changing and acting different. And I approached her. I'm not going to say confront because I approached her and I said, hey, you know, something's up, something's going on. I'm sensing something. Are you good? Are you okay? You know, is there something that I did wrong? You know, did I do something to make you feel uncomfortable? You know, oh no, we're good. You know, oh girl, I love that purse. Like, if she would, like, you know.
Deflecting.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, you know, so did it again. Same thing. So at this, I said, okay. I said, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to call anymore. I'm not going to continue because whatever it is, it has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me because I know I didn't do anything, right? And if I've given you the opportunity to come and have a conversation with me as a woman, and you still, you know, then that's something that you have to work out. So yeah. I moved on from that situation. That's probably been about 6-7 years ago.
Oh wow.
You know, so
So I think it takes a very mature person to understand that person's issue with you, oftentimes it does not have anything to do with us. But everybody doesn't have that perspective. Like when somebody comes at you, you don't think. Most of us are not that mature. I'm trying to be. I think I'm getting there since
you are growing a lot. Absolutely.
Since the whole situation right there, I've let a couple of things go.
Well, I did some research on this topic, right? And now I don't necessarily agree with this, but I'm gonna say it. They said people most likely to hold grudges are those with a negative approach to life and hold on to emotions like envy, jealousy, toxic anger. Now, I know some amazing people that have held grudges. So I'm not putting that out there and say that they have a negative approach to life.
Right.
I just think that if you are a genuine person and you know you go hard for people and then people, you know, either dismiss you or treat you a certain way and you go hard for them or, you know, it puts a bad taste in your mouth, right? And it's just like, okay, I can't. Now, some of us can't get out of those situations. Some of these people we work with.
Right.
You know, some of them we work with. So we have to maintain some type of working relationship. But I still feel a certain type of way about you. But that doesn't mean that I'm a negative person or I have a negative approach to life. It just means that I'm learning how to process and manage these feelings that are negative. Yeah. Right? So.
You know what, for me, because, and believe it or not, because I know I joke around in here a lot, but the Scorpio in me, I am very, like, if I rock with you, like, I really rock with you, and there's nothing I won't do for you. And so the minute that's not reciprocated, and I had to learn I can't expect me and other people, because that used to be the issue where people got cut off. Like, because I go hard for you, I can't always expect, and I used to expect that. Like, listen, like, if you called me in the middle of the night and you're broke down on the side of the road, I'm coming. And then I'm in a situation, I'm calling you and you're nowhere to be found ever. You know, so that would typically create a grudge for me and somebody. Like, if I'm going hard for you and you never are there for me, I can't mess with you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bring something up. We've been knowing each other for years.
This a petty me?
Years. No, I don't want to say it was a petty you, but it was also a moment of and you will agree, because you could say how I responded to you,
Okay.
right?
All right.
So,
Oh boy.
so years ago, he would reach out, he'll call, he'll check on me or whatever. And I was going through my stuff during that time. So you didn't really know. You didn't know what was happening, what was going on. But he would reach out, you know, just checking on a friend. So one time he was like, you know what? I appreciate your friendship and all, but I call you, you know, I reach out to you, and all I would like for you to do is do the same for me, right? And in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna go through this divorce. This man talking about I'll call and da 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 da. So, and you said that a couple times. Just do a better job, you know. So what that was telling me was that you cared enough about our relationship. You cared enough about me as a person, and you wanted that. You wasn't getting something from me, right? And it wasn't to a place where you was just like, whatever, forget you, whatever, move on. You wanted to salvage. You wanted to salvage whatever was going on.
Right.
Right? So what was my response? How did I respond to you?
Girl, I can't remember what I did this morning.
Are you
asked me that.
serious?
How long ago? You said I'm gonna do better.
I'm going to do better, and I did.
Oh, you did, but it was very one-sided for a long time.
It was. I said that.
Yeah, no, I want to reiterate the fact
Oh
that
my
I want to reiterate the fact that you was about to get cut off. Like once I take your number out of my phone, that's it. Cause I take the number out just so I don't have a moment where be like, oh man, let me just see how they doing. The number gone, that's it. Cause I don't have nobody's number memorized except for hers. But yeah, no, you almost was at to take the number out the phone.
Wow.
Like I'll block you, then take it out, so we will have no problems.
Wow.
But you didn't make it there.
I didn't make it there.
But I'll do that in a minute.
I received, but you working on yourself.
No, I don't do it now. Yeah, I will. I was gonna lie and say I don't do that now, but I'm lying.
Your daughter said yes. Yes, you do. Yes.
It's a character. It's a character flaw.
Yeah. So, but my point to that is, the topic of tonight's show is, before you hold a grudge, hold a conversation. Period.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Because and this was a perfect example. We don't know what people are going through today. We really don't. We don't know what's happening. We don't know what's happening at home. We don't know what all they went through before they got to the job. And sometimes people don't have the best coping skills to manage their problems or whatever it is that's happening in life.
Right.
And maybe they do come off offensive, or maybe they do come off dismissive. But hold that person accountable for, hey, you was a little short with me today. Is everything okay? Is everything good? Instead of not saying anything, and now we start to build up our own story of what could be happening, right? Because our mind is very powerful. We know the brain is the most powerful thing. So we start making up these things that didn't even happen, and before we know it, we got
a whole narrative in our head.
We have a whole narrative about what's happening
and be dead wrong when you finally talk to the person.
Exactly.
I've done that before.
Yeah. So
wow.
So do you feel that you've healed to a point where you can go to someone and have a conversation with them before this grudge starts to become?
Yeah, I'm very big on having a conversation. I think one of the things too, that when you do kind of what we do, people don't want to have that conversation because they think you're trying to therapize them.
Therapize them, absolutely.
And you're just trying to have a conversation and get to the bottom of what's going on. So I think that makes it difficult. It's partly that, and then people are not being able to, don't know how to communicate. So I think that's the issue I run into more so than anything.
Yeah.
People don't want to have the conversation because they think you're trying to give them some kind of therapeutic treatment.
Yep.
No, I'm trying to see why we're not as cool as we used to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying that some people don't need to be dismissed.
Right.
Right. If somebody needs to be dismissed, dismiss them. But what my point is,
Gotta go.
just go ahead and dismiss them. But my point to this is, hold the conversation first.
Right. Try to at least.
At least try to. Right. And if it doesn't work, holding on to the grudge is not going to do anything for that person, but it's going to do a lot for you.
Yeah.
Right. So let's jump into what that looks like and what that feels like and what it does to the body.
Oh, but before we do that, let me say this. Sometimes having that conversation with the person might be just what you need to realize is you both need to go your separate way. Like sometimes we try to have the conversation in effort to try to save the relationship.
Yeah.
Sometimes the conversation needs to be had so we know, you know what, this is kind of where we probably need to end.
Yep.
And that's okay.
Yep.
Like every disagreement is not an argument. And you know, so people just think if we're not all on the same page, you and I don't always agree.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So you swing on me, I swing back, and then we move on. Our relationship don't end, but sometimes things need to come to an end.
Right.
And that's just what it is.
Right. Especially when it's toxic.
Yeah.
When it's toxic. Absolutely.
Now you were saying.
So when you hold on to grudges, right? It does affect the body. It affects you physically, right? You have a higher level of stress. When you are in the room or around that person, you may feel anxiety, palpitations, whatever, anger, all of that comes out, right?
True.
People blood pressure goes up, and this is no joke. These are things that actually really happen, and what we call this is somatic symptoms, right? We experience somatic symptoms, so headaches, backaches, all of those things. Sometimes these symptoms are coming from where we are mentally, right? So think about depression. When we look at depression, how a lot of people that are depressed, their symptoms are what? They want to sleep a lot.
They isolate.
They isolate. Now
Missing
you
work, all kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have some people that overeat, and then you have some people that don't eat at all. The eating part is very, very tricky. Some people with the emotional eating, that's how they fill that void.
Right.
But then you have some people that just don't want to eat, right? But there's always something that's going on, headaches, right? So I think that when we are upset and we're angry about something, we have to find a way to sit down and have a conversation, because it's like the saying is like drinking poison and expecting somebody else to be sick from it.
Oh.
When we hold on to them.
I was way wrong with that one.
Oh, Lord. What was you about to add?
Drinking poison and they expect somebody to suck it out. You know, you get bit by a rattlesnake in the Western. Never mind. Too much me TV.
Yeah, too much me TV.
Well, listen, and remember I told you the story about my friend, and this is an example of that. My friend, about forgiving. We have a friend. We're still cool. This dude he thought was really cool with him was messing with his wife. And when it came to light, like we're like, whoa, what we gonna do?
Right.
What you want to do?
Y'all was ready to knuckle up.
We was ready to get on his ass, right? Because he was his homie. His kids was calling him Uncle So-and-so. He ordered knocking the wife off.
Yeah.
So me and my other friend, we carried around this anger and grudge on behalf of our friend for like 6 months. My one boy even saw him in the bathroom at a conference and stepped to him. Because he tried to be like, yo, what's up, dog? He said, what you mean, what's up? You mess with my man. And this whole time, we went to our boy and said, yo, we saw old boy. I saw old boy in the bathroom. I was about to get on this, but people was in there. And he was like, oh, no, man, it's cool. We was like, what you mean it's cool? He was like, no, man, I forgave him a few months ago. Like, I had to do that. Like, God told me I need to forgive him so I can move forward. What was like, well, when the hell was you going to tell us? Because we walking around here upset, anxious. We see him, we all mad.
Right.
You over here chilling in the bosom of the Lord.
Right.
What about us? You ain't tell us when you gonna forgive him. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And we would see him and be like visibly upset because we was mad at him. This dude over here, oh no, I forgave him. That's what God told me to do. We're like, what the fuck?
You said chilling in the bosom.
The bosom of the Lord. He's just all in there comfortable and being nurtured.
Y'all walking around still
We're out here
hanging.
trying to do the devil's work. He's somewhere else. I'm like, bruh. What would do with him when he said that?
That's hilarious.
So you forgave him and you didn't tell us?
But that's a perfect example because again, we do that as well.
Yeah.
Right? We go hard for our people. So if you mad, I'm mad. What you mad at them for? I don't know, but you mad, I'm mad.
That's right.
So that's how that's how you get down. A lot of us was brought up that way. Oh, you don't like her? I don't like her either. Well, what she do to you? I don't know, but I don't like her either. Right?
So immature.
Right. It is, right? But that was our way of saying
that's
that
how we
I'm
did
down
it.
with
Yeah.
you. I'm down with you, right?
True.
So, I mean, again, the question is like more so a statement. Hold a conversation before you hold a grudge. And if you feel like you have to hold on to a grudge, and you can't have a conversation with that person, perhaps their time in your life is over, is done. Perhaps there's a new season.
Mm-hmm. I you know what troubles me is people who have a grudge or an issue with somebody, and I talk about this within my own, like my extended family, because it's a bunch of us. Somebody's always mad at somebody about something, and I'm like, call them and say what your issue is. But we're in 2024 now, so people, instead of doing that, they go to Facebook and they put the problem on Facebook for everybody to see. Now people between Delaware all the way back to Arkansas know my family business. Like, that really gets on my nerves. Even if it ain't my family, I'm reading people like they're arguing like heavy. Just pick up the phone.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because I've seen that, and even though it may not be my family, I may not even know them, I get so embarrassed for them. You ever watch something, it has nothing to do with you, but when you're watching, it's just like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. I get embarrassed for them. But that, again, that's the world that we're living in. People bring everything to social media. It didn't happen unless it's on social media, right?
That's sad, and that's a weak way of getting attention, and you're not gonna resolve it, because now that person's ego says, I have to now respond on social media. So it's just an ongoing thing. So like, I swear, like, a little conversation goes a long way. And that social media thing really irks me. My whole spirit and my family. And here's the crazy part. These aren't like my nieces and nephews in their 20s. These are the grown.
Old heads,
45 and up. 45 to 60. I'd be like, what the hell? Jesus.
Which, like, we can't even, I can't even give you an excuse on that one, because with the kids, the younger generation, we like, oh, that's their generation. Hey, you 50, 60 years old, you know better.
And you see how I'm sitting here like better. This is how, when I'm reading, I see it online, I be like, oh my God. And I just log off. My wife's like, you should just block them. But everybody's still gonna know. Then people are calling. This is the crazy part. People are calling you like, yo, what happened between someone? So I'm like, man, don't call me. I can't stand,
You just saw the whole story on social media.
Yeah, you know, you want to know the origins.
Yes, for sure. So if you don't take anything away from my conversation tonight, please do this for yourself. As you already heard that, holding on to pain, to hurt, anger, grudges, all of that, it will definitely harm you more than it will the other person. So perhaps it's worth a conversation, and maybe it's not. But if it's not worth a conversation, then do yourself a favor and forgive and let it go.
Yeah. And you may run into a person that when you ask them, when you try to have a conversation, you may run into a person much like me. They lie. So be prepared to deal with that too, and then you make your assessment, you make your decision based upon if you still want to interact with that person or not. Even if you have some sometimes it's just best to have it, and then you decide what you want to do from there. But just holding on to that, it does not help you.
Yeah, for sure.
It does not.
For sure.
So
it's time to do something different. It really, really is. So change is necessary, and the one thing that's always certain is change. So remember that. That's like one of my favorite quotes.
I like that. Say it again.
The only thing that is certain is change. Yeah. So
that is true.
It's
happening
about.
As we speak. Things are changing. We don't even know it.
It sure did. Exactly. So Eli, whatever grudges that you holding on to, I want you to forgive and let it go.
I think I'm all right now.
You good?
I don't have no current beef.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think I'm all right.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not trying to get on your bad side.
No, there's no. Listen, I'm harmless. I'm really a harmless, loving individual who go hard for my people.
You are. You do go hard.
So
you do go hard. But as you said, you can't expect you and everybody.
Yeah, that is true.
That's the point.
That's something that we definitely are learning about.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, guys. So it's been a great conversation tonight. And as always, we thank you for tuning in to The Rebirth. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms, okay? Like, share, tell somebody, tell a friend, a family member, tell somebody.
That's right. Tell
about
a friend.
The Rebirth, okay? We are here to renew, rebuild, and restore. Renew your mind, rebuild your life, and restore your mind and spirit. Until next week, have a blessed night.
Peace.
Whoa.